Okay, so here we're zoomed in on what is the top of the Z column here. And I'm just going to start at the top and work my way down and show you what everything is and explain it. This is a pulley, of course. This is part of a gear reduction system that I'm using on the Z column. This is a 2-to-1 ratio, so to give me a little more torque and a little better resolution on the Z axis. Coming down from that, this is just the top plate of what is the Y card, and you'll get a better shot of that here a little later on from the side over here. Below that, this is a bearing block that I made. This is just a block of aluminum, 3/4 inch, that I took with my Momus. I milled a pocket up in here that's holding a 5/16 ID bearing. And the ends of my lead screw, which this is my 1/2 inch diameter lead screw, it's a 5-start screw. I had both ends, the top and the bottom, turned down to 5/16 of an inch. So that fits in that bearing that's in this bearing block. Below the bearing block is a thrust bearing and washer setup. And this lock collar here, and as you can see, this lock collar just threads up and down here on the lead screw. And what you can do is tighten that up, and when you put some tension against that thrust bearing, it kind of takes all that backlash and play out of the lead screw there. So got this same setup, the bearing block and the thrust washer bearing and the collar. The same setup is repeated on the bottom of the lead screw as well, same, identical. So down from that, this little bracket right here that you see, made out of a piece of 3/8 aluminum. It's just a bracket that I milled on my Momus machine, and it's what I use to attach the anti-backlash nut. I'm not sure if you can see these little screws back here. I'll take you in and show you that a little better here in a bit. But it's just a bracket that I attached my anti-backlash nut with, and milled that on the Momus as well. So coming on down from there, you can see a series of holes here with bolts in them, and some engraving. This was all done on the Momus as well. It was really nice to have the Momus for that. It was able to, of course, plot these holes, do the counter bores and everything, and no measuring was required. I just programmed it into the software. The machine did the rest. So really nice, a lot more accurate than what I could have probably done, you know, measuring and marking out each one of these and you know, allowing for the counter bores and blah blah. This was just a lot better. So, and the engraving was just kind of a little extra touch that I threw on there. So, moving on down from this is the router mount. And again, milled on the Momus machine. Both of these, this router mount design is nothing new. I got this off the internet probably. Off eBay or a couple different people sell a similar part like this. But it milled the top and the bottom half. And of course the hole in the center, and you know, the bolt holes in the back. The mill finish, as you can see right here, is probably not the smoothest finish that you'll ever see. But more importantly, the two pieces are made accurately. They're, you know, the holes are sized correctly and they're where they're supposed to be. And so in this case, fit was better than finish as far as I was concerned. I did go ahead and put an accessory hole here, you know, for a 1/2 inch rod, and you know, this is for mounting a couple of different things. You could definitely mount a dust shoe in here. You know, I've seen people put a little camera down here that follows the bit. So, you know, you get a real close-up shot of the action, of the cutting action. Sharpies, you know, you could, I mean, this one is extremely too big, but you get the idea. You know, you could put a Sharpie here and have your machine do a little bit of artwork for you, or some lettering or something. So, yeah, just, you know, that was just a little extra I threw in there. But next I want to take you back up to the top of the Z column, and we're going to show you what I did to get the Z motor, the NEMA 23 motor, mounted up there. Okay, so what we're looking at here is actually the underside of the top of the Y car. This is a piece of 3/4 inch plate, aluminum, and you see this pocket here that I milled in here. This is the NEMA 23 motor that's going to be driving the Z-axis. Now, the reason for this pocket is that the shaft on this motor was not long enough to pass through this 3/4 inch material and still leave enough shaft on the top to mount a pulley. So I just milled this pocket. It's 3/8 of an inch deep, put some slots. You can see the slot right there, so the motor can slide back and forth. So up here at the top, you can see the 4 slots where the motor mounts on, and this just lets this motor slide back and forth so I can put tension on this belt. And this is the gear reduction system I was telling you about earlier. This is a 30 tooth, it's a 15, And so that's my 2-to-1 gear reduction for the Z-axis. And I like this design because it gets the Z motor down here out of the way, instead of it being, you know, just kind of stuck precariously up on top here, you know, like some of them are. A lot of designs are actually that way, and I guess that's fine, but I just wanted to do something a little different. You know, and I can always change this ratio back around if I need to, you know, go to a 3-to-1 or even a 1-to-1 if I find out it's not necessary or whatever. So left myself open to some options there. So that's the Z-axis on the Brutus 1.0, and like I said, I hope you follow along, subscribe, and comments and suggestions are always welcome. So that's the end of the first video. Like I said, I'm going to do a couple more, take you around, show you the Y-axis and the X-axis and what I'm using to drive them and the different components and everything. But that's the whole Z column there, from the router mount up. And this was probably the most challenging part of the build so far. Just wasn't sure how all those parts were going to come together and how they were going to play around with each other. So it looks like it's going to be doing a great job. I sure hope so. And like I said, follow along, subscribe. Love to hear from you guys. Comments and suggestions are always welcome. And we'll see you on the next video.